Good afternoon. My name is Ed Ewing from Cross Country Magazine, and we're here at the start of the X-Pyr 2022. We've come inside because it's raining outside, and I think the rain is going to continue through to the start. But here we are with Chrigel Maurer, a three-time X-Pyr winner. Chrigel, how are you feeling?
Ed, I feel good, thanks. Finally, we're here at the start, and it was a long preparation, but I'm happy to be here and racing tomorrow on.
Excellent. And let's dive straight in. What do you think of the route?
The route we can see here, it's a new route. It's more long than even before. We have a similar start. We have a new X on the high area, and then a long final. Yeah, what I would say, it will be more difficult to cross twice the Pyrenees and to go a bit back. Depends of the wind, for sure. It's harder, and also these 6 days for 600k, it gives a good average, and depends of the weather. Mm-hmm. Actually, the forecast is not so good. It will be difficult to finish the race this year.
Mm-hmm. Your record for the X-Pyr is 2.5 days. You said. What was the weather like when you did it that year?
Of course, the route was really direct, and the weather was good. We had strong backwind, and we flew 3 together each day, almost 200. One day more than 200. So it was very nice to visit all the country from above, and I remember it was just beautiful, and for me it was a pleasure, and for the athletes in the back, it was really hard because there was west wind coming in, and we was just a bit in front of the west wind, and for them it was a really hard adventure because hiking in the sun is not nice when it's too much wind. For us in the front, it was a pleasure to have good conditions. And this year it looks that it's raining for all. Yeah. And then it will be really hard to get the place where the mountain starts to be higher, and yeah, we'll see.
It makes everything more difficult, doesn't it, with the flying, obviously, but the decision-making as well. It becomes riskier, it becomes more marginal. How do you manage those decisions?
Yeah, finally, at the start, I not really have a strategy to manage this, but after a while, I get really into the adventure, and I walk into it, and I feel the conditions. I make a lot of thinking just on this, nothing else, and then it's more easier to feel what I have to do. But when it's windy, for example, when it's thunderstorm coming, when these fern situations with the strange wind, it's always a stressful situations, and it's never easy to find a good solution. And then I have to go step by step. But the point on the takeoff where I inflate the glider, normally it's not the point to say I try. It's more the point I say I do it, or I have to do it, and then I have to finish the flight. And then I realize that it's not funny anymore. But I do really serious training, try to feel what I can do and where is the limit. But in the end, I just try, and also try to focus on everything around. It means is there other people flying, if the conditions stay or they improve or disappear, something like this, and it's always difficult.
And there are 32 rookies in the race this year. Have you got any advice for them about how to approach a big race like the X-Pyr? Because for a lot of them, it's their first big international hike and fly race. And you're super experienced. You're the most experienced pilot in the race, of course.
Yeah. Finally, it's more an adventure than a race. And this is the difference, that it's the goal to continue all day and not to push us as you crash. I mean, and then I think it's hard to start a long adventure where the rain is on the start, where the weather is bad, and it feels after 1 or 2 days that it's never ending. And to find motivation with a good goal each day, each moment, each hour, this is important. And to have a good time with the team as well, to make jokes and see the nice places in the route. this helps. And if you focus on a race, if you focus to be faster than the others, it's really hard then. And it's also for me, this year it's new for sure, because the last 3 editions for me it was really flying, and this time it's more about managing myself, to not overload my body, to not make mistakes with strong wind conditions, and this will be more difficult than even before.
You mentioned not overloading your body. I saw on your Instagram channel that you'd been doing some testing, the VO2 max and that type of thing. Can you tell us a bit about your health statistics? Like, what's your resting heart rate, for example? Do you know?
Actually, getting more and more old. So I'm 40 years now, and since 12 years I really train a lot, and my average it's continue getting better and better in for example, for 1,000 meter, I can be 1.5 minutes faster than last year.
Really?
So for me, it's a good sign. I got a new coach, Ramon, who was coaching me and in training and also supporting me here. Okay. Ramon Krebs, and so he pushed me really this spring to getting better, and finally I feel really good. But it's also a danger to start too fast and to damage the legs. And so I have to be careful, but I hope with my experience from the last 12 years I can manage it better. But finally, the heart ratio, I'm quite high in their rest period. I'm about 50.
About 50.
And my maximum heart ratio is about 188. But when I was 12 years younger, it was 55, and the maximum was 208. For example, but what is more important is the average heart ratio in a good speed. For example, I can push 1,000 meter with the average of 125, and this I can do all day.
All right.
So it's improving from 700 meter an hour to 1,000 in the last 10 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And this is amazing, yeah. And also the recovery, it's much better, and during the flight or during the night. So I can bring my performance, for example, for 1,000 meter a day long, and not only for once, and then I have to recover 2 weeks.
Yeah, so you're getting stronger and your recovery is getting better. So you've been doing this for 20 years, more or less. If I can just recap, you have won the Red Bull X-Alps 7 times. You've won the X-Pyr 3 times. You have been European paragliding champion. You've been Swiss champion multiple times. You've been Swiss hang gliding champion. You've had acro world records. So, I mean, what still drives you after 20 years? You've won most things. What's the motivation? What keeps you going?
I feel just happy to be out in the nature, and in flying I feel totally free, and I can see so much of the different angles of the air, or in hiking of the ground, and it gives me all the time a good feeling. It's like traveling, but with a different challenge, and the competition pushes me to getting better and better in training, and then in the competition I see how it works, and I also get traveling and having a good time with my friends and teams, and this is it never ends, I feel.
It never ends. It's perfect. Looking back at all those wins, what do you say to the pilots who are coming up now? There are lots of young guys who are pushing hard. What's your advice?
In general, I feel really good or happy to see the sport growing up and up, especially with this hike and fly, which is a combination of 3 sports. I mean, paragliding, the endurance sport, but also the team which is connecting. It's not an athlete pushing; it's a team which help and thinks. And in the other side, it's a really interesting game to see which tactic, which strategy is working best. It's not just flying and pushing. It's also thinking about the next days, about food, about recovery, about material, everything. And this is also what normal pilots, I mean, when they hike up and fly down, make it more happy than just go up by a cable car and fly down. This we can see. Yeah. And finally this I felt not when I started paragliding, but maybe 12, 13 years ago. I felt really more happy when I walked up to fly down. And finally this we can see in other sports as well, but in paragliding with the competition we have, it's a nice development in all the countries.
You're sort of an elder statesman now. I mean, not that you're about to retire, but thinking back to Dubai, someone was telling me that it was you who came up with one of the safety sort of guidelines there. You know, everyone was meant to run to the top of run to the top of the tower, the building, which is incredible, and then take off. Yeah. And you were the one that said, "Hang on, let's stop the time." So I guess is that a position of leadership that you welcome?
In general, I'm an athlete by myself, and I push my own limit. And in the other side, I see the sport, the paragliding sport, the hike and fly sport, as important for the future for the young pilots. So we have to be smart in the point of what we do for competitions. And if I feel a competition it's too danger, I can ask them what they think. I can ask the others. And what's happening in Dubai was that the competition in this new area in this building, in my eyes, was too dangerous. So I was looking for a new rules, for a new solution to make it more safe, to make it more also make it happening without problem. Yeah, and then we was start speaking all together, the pilots and the organizer, and then we found a good solution to make it more safe and more motivated for everybody.
Can I just ask about the X-Alps from last year? Just from looking at it, the pressure that you and the others are flying under looks intense. Well, it is intense. I mean, what do you think about that, the whole race and the way it played out?
It was a bit similar like now the X-Pyr. I thought that the route is too long for the time we have. And these 12 days looks for me a bit short. And at the beginning we was not so fast, and then the half part was quite difficult, the weather and everything. But then the last 3 days was very fast because of the good weather conditions. And I was surprised to finish finally that fast. But it shows also that the other teams coming more efficient, and we was all together, there was more and more teams together in the front, pushing, changing positions. But finally there was one big different on day 8, where the one line was more straight in the south, and I decided to stay in the north. With the south wind, it was not a clear solution with the safety, with the efficiency. But for me, it makes more sense to make the detour, the extra way on the north, because it looks more flyable on this day. And I not really know because of the weather forecast or the area, but I had a better feeling than the south. And so it makes finally a big difference. But
nobody else saw that.
Yeah, it was not clear. That was the problem for me. I also wanted to go south because it makes more sense. It's more straight. The forecast was quite similar, but on the end, it made just the feeling made a bit different. And then I swapped back to Wallis, and then I was there, and I said, okay, let's stay here, and not changing to the south again. So there was more factors, small factors, which leads me, and finally it was good. But yeah, it was also a good part of luck.
Good part of luck. It plays a part. So that the ability to deal with success and the ability to deal with failure, so the two sides of the same coin. It's a real mental skill in paragliding, and one that people, you go up and down emotionally. It's difficult to lose. It can be crazy to succeed. You clearly have found this balance in this mental game of success and failure. Who else in paragliding do you think has it? Who else in hike and fly adventure racing has it?
Yeah,
because you see a lot of young people coming through in Switzerland.
Yeah, it's really difficult to see or to feel what they feel, because the most are focused on the result, on pushing, on giving the best, and then it's always the same, that if it works, they feel good because of they made it good. If not, if they fail, they say the conditions was bad. It was bad luck. There was, and for me it was always, when I was good, I felt okay. The decisions was good, but I also got luck. And if I made a mistake, then I say, okay, shit, I made a mistake. So it was always on mine. And for me, it helps to be more clear with myself, to see, okay, when I did good, I'm happy for me, and if I made a mistake, I'm bad for me. So, but I can improve. And finally, it's always very close, success and fails, and you have to deal with them. And if you get a good decision and a good result, then you feel sometimes it stays like this, and then it's hard to accept the fails. And if you know that it goes up and down all the time, and if you have a plan B for this, then it's more easy. But finally, a good pilot have to push and to be unhappy with himself to come better. So a pilot which is happy with the fail, it stays in the middle. So I like the young pilots. They are frustrated after a fail, because I know they come better.
Cool. We just saw Aaron Duragati, who is an X-Pyr veteran as well. We just saw him fly a 285-kilometer triangle in Pakistan. And Tom Dodolado and other friends are going out to Pakistan now. I think they're there. They're hoping to fly above 8,000 meters, above K2. You know, these incredible venues, amazing adventures. As far as I know, you've not been out to the Himalaya, to the Karakoram. Is there a part of you that wants to? And is there a reason why you haven't?
I feel that I can do a lot of things with my paraglider, and I can do this at home or in the Pyrenees, and I not have to travel so far. For sure, it's higher, and in Pakistan it's more extreme for sure. But for me, it not really makes it different. I think I'm really happy and satisfied when I have a good flight in my area, or I can overfly a nice peak like Matterhorn. It makes me more happy than traveling around the earth and speaking at home from crazy things which is not really accepted back home at my family. But finally, I have dreams, or I had a lot of dreams which I already flown or make it true. Yeah. And Himalaya never was really a dream. So I don't know why.
No, it makes sense. And so, I mean, what dreams do you still have in paragliding, in flying?
To win the X-Pyr for 4th edition.
Perfect.
No, I really want to be happy with setting new goals, to feel motivated, to stay healthy, and to spread this spirit to the scene, to my boys, to the young people, and that I learn to manage themselves, also with the danger which we have in paragliding, and finally to do these competitions, because I know that I will. It's the 4th edition, but for sure it will be a new experience, and this makes me happy.
Perfect. And one question about the X-Alps. So we're going to see you in the X-Alps next year. Are you applying? I think the application is sort of due in 10 days.
It opened in 10 days. But I say, okay, first let's finish the race here, and then I have to speak with different people about which can be my team, which can or how I can organize financial parts and everything like this. Finally, I have to organize everything new, but it's my goal. And then the application, and I hope to be selected in autumn.
We hope that happens.
And then, it starts with new motivation, and I really try or look forward to do it again.
What are you flying this week at the X-Pyr? What equipment?
Yeah, it's a good question. Advanced is working hard on a new Omega X-Alps 5 already, but it's the goal for X-Alps. I still bring my Omega X-Alps 23 because it's for me it's a good wing. It's already my 5th glider, so it's a new glider but already 5 years old. And finally it works well in my size, and I really know what I can do with this or where there's the limits. But yeah, in general, there is a limitation of this compromise of lightweight glider and good performance. And yeah, you can see in the other companies that they not can do easy a new glider, which is much better and much more light, much more stability. So we stay on a high level of competition glider for hike and fly. But yeah, you have to do the difference by the tactic, and it's difficult to do it with the glider.
Yeah.
But I will say with Advanced for sure, because it's a really good company. They have a good palette of gliders, of harnesses. I'm very happy with my light harness, for example. It's the same like I had in X-Alps, but it's still working and it's very light and safe. So finally, I really like the products and fly with them when they're testing, and it makes sense.
I'd just like to touch briefly on the work that you're doing as well with the young pilots in Switzerland and the hike and fly. And what is it you do exactly in Switzerland with everyone? With this, is it the X-Alps Academy or has it changed? I forget.
Yeah, we have the X-Alps Academy.
Yeah.
Because I wanted to spread my experience, want to have fun with the others, and then we made the academy because the federation had no avenue for the hike and fly activities, so just for the competition and cross country. And finally, there is existing a hike and fly league, also from the federation. It's not really with the competition connected. It's more to support and to coach new athletes. But it's in development, and with the X-Alps Academy we do more having good trainings, good adventures, to learn from each other, to push each other, to control each other. It's more like a family which do experience to learn from it. And for example, in August, on 2nd, we will start in the northest point of Switzerland and cross all the Alps to the south. And to cross really Switzerland from the north to the south, it's 250. It's not far, but we will do it all together, having a good time and learning. And yeah, this is an example from a project we do it with the X-Alps Academy. We are 18 with the X-Alps Academy, and 12 will do the trip.
Awesome. And finally, what's your plan for tomorrow? 8:30, then 10 on the beach. 8:30, then 10 o'clock. We set off. How long will it take you to get to the summit of La Rune, 907 meters?
Yeah, the first part is similar like all the editions. It's around 2 hour 40, 2 hour 50, depends of the motivation we have. It's 18K flat and 900 climb. But after it will be the big question if we can fly down. For sure it's the flight, and then depends of the cloud, of the rain. I think it's more walking than flying, and this is the big difference to the other editions. And then we have to decide going more north in the flat or into the hills and go up and down. So it means if it looks a bit flyable, we go in the hills, try to fly some glides. If it looks cloudy and raining, it's more the north and follow the main roads. But it will be a long day walking, and then Monday also looks bad. My personal goal is to be on the second turn point on Monday, but it's 150K to walk and around 4,000 meter up and down to the second turn point. So it's already really a lot. And for me, it's not clear how much sense it makes to push so hard. But it can be good to be on the south side on Thursday, Tuesday. Tuesday looks flyable, and if you can fly this part, maybe it's good.
Yeah.
And also tricky with the airspace we have here. And we have to be really careful to not have a penalty, otherwise you can risk arrest.
Is that the national park area?
national park, and here's the national park in the south, and here is the I don't know, the Pyrenees Park.
All right. Well, listen, thank you very much for your time. It's been interesting. It's been great, as always. And have a fantastic race, a safe one. And hope to see you at the Mediterranean in a week.
Yeah, I hope to have a swim in the Mediterranean Sea as soon as possible. But maybe this edition will be hard. But we go step by step, starting tomorrow at 10. And see you live.